Hello, and welcome to Beyond Books, where we talk about books and go beyond. I'm your host. I'm Renee. Today I have a very special guest. This is my partner, Donna.
Hello.
And we're going to review a book together today. Of course, you know the co-host. This is Raina. And snack of the day for her is a ribeye-flavored grill house steak cubes, which she really likes. So today we're going to talk about a book called Patriot. The author is Alexei Navalny, and this is a memoir. It's nonfiction, and it was published in October of 2024. Now, I did not read this book. Donna read this book. So I'm going to ask her a few questions, and we're going to see what she has to say about the book. So, Donna, can you just tell us briefly who Alexei Navalny actually is?
Navalny was a Russian opposition leader and political prisoner. He founded the Anti-Corruption League in 2011, where he fought the government, basically, of Putin, because Putin gave a lot of favors and money to his rich allies, and the people of Russia suffered for it. So Alexei Navalny saw the corruption throughout Putin's reign, and he would pick up many fights trying to fight against it.
So it sounds like actually he was fighting a word that's come up in our politics lately, and that's oligarchy.
Exactly.
Meaning rich people influencing the government.
Yes. And the poor people and the people of the state were suffering for it.
Right. So can you give us just a brief synopsis of what this book is about?
This book is about his journey throughout his young adulthood and adulthood, fighting the corruption in Russia. He was in love with his country, and he referred to it as the state of Russia. And he made that distinction between Putin's Russia, or the country of Russia. So he was for the people of Russia, and he tried to get the money back to the people. He always thought that the people of Russia were good people, and if they could benefit from their own resources that they had in their country, they would have a richer economy and therefore have a better life. And throughout his whole life, he fought against Putin and against corruption.
Okay, so maybe having a stronger middle class, supporting those who maybe don't have as much resources, kind of leads to a better life for everyone is sort of the idea that he had in mind for his country. And it sounds like he really loved his country. So it is a good title for the book to say Patriot. That's really what he was.
He had a wife and 2 kids, and his wife was so supportive of him because he spent many months in prison throughout his life as a political leader. And for whatever he did, Putin would always place him in prison, and he would have these trumped up charges that were nonsense, but his family always stuck behind him, especially his wife.
So this is a book by a Russian voice. This is a Russian person, a Russian patriot. What attracted you to this book as an American?
Well, I can see in my country we're going through very similar things, not to the extent that the people of Russia are suffering. However, we don't really know where we're going. And it was amazing how he fought so hard for his country and the people of his country that he actually gave his life for his country. And it was interesting to see how a leader like Putin, and now with Trump, can put fear in the rest of the state, his leaders, his courts. He had all of that in his control. And he put fear in everyone, and so no one spoke out against this man. And we can see our country heading towards the same situation.
A consolidation of power, I think.
Exactly. And fear. And fear. Fear is a real big factor in this, because no one wanted to go against Putin, because people showed up dead, poisoned. Alexei Navalny was poisoned twice in his career, once with a neurological agent, and he spent months in the hospital and another like 4 months in rehab to overcome that. So there's no end to what they'll do to keep their power.
Keep their power, yeah. So this book has 4.5 stars on Goodreads, and it has 4.8 stars on Amazon. So what star rating would you give to the book, and why?
I would give it a 4.8. It's not a good feeling book, to read and enjoy, but it's a story of a life that is very impressive to me. So I would give it a 4.8.
Okay.
If you want to know a little bit about history and how that affects your future,
right.
It's a good read.
Right, and how I guess politics can change, and
yes,
just the evolution of someone really taking over a country.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. An authoritarian kind of government.
Yep.
So what lesson do you take away from this book after reading it? And what did Alexei Navalny have to say to you specifically? And I think we've addressed this a little bit. But
I think the lesson that I took away from it is, whatever you're passionate about, go at it with everything you have and never give up. But you have to realize that if, in his situation, he wanted to make a better Russia for the people, he gave his life for it. Right. So you have to understand what you're fighting for, and to have the support that he had of the Russian people, his family, it was very impressive. So whatever you want in life, know that it's a fight. But if it's the fight that you want to be in, be prepared to lose everything. In his case, lose everything. Yes.
Take a chance with everything.
Yes.
So I've heard you now refer to the fact that he died for his country several times. So what was his fate? What happened in the end to Alexei Navalny? And now that part's not in the book, correct?
No, that part is not in the book. We know history. Alexei Navalny was imprisoned for, his first prison sentence was 3 years. Then Putin extended it to 9 years. Then it was 19 years. And in this last period of time prior to his death, he started a diary. And every day he would write in his diary of what happened, how he resisted, how he fought back, the corruption that was going on with him as far as what Putin was doing to him on these trumped up charges and false charges. And so the day that he passed was January 2024. And his last notation in his diary was January 17th, I believe it was. And he was happy. He was feeling good. He had nothing to report as far as illness or not feeling well. At that time, they had moved him to a prison way up in the Arctic Circle. It took 3 weeks to get to when they took him from his prior prison.
Wow.
And it was freezing cold, bitter cold. And the last entry in his diary was January 17th, I think it was, or 14th in 2024. And he was happy. Now we know that later that day, I think his entry was around noontime. Later that day, he was pronounced dead.
Wow.
He went walking in the yard, as he did almost every day, regardless of the cold. And they said that he was found down in the yard. So, because of an illness.
Okay. All right.
So that was his fate.
All right. So a sudden and seems like somewhat reason to be suspicious
Yes.
of that death
Yes.
in prison.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's unfortunate. I don't want to end on an unfortunate note or a sad note, but if this is a book that maybe you've heard of and you didn't know much about, now you know a little bit more. I hope this book review can help you make a decision as to whether or not this book is right for you to read. And I want to say thank you to Donna for doing this book review.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you so much.
No problem.
And thank you, Raina, for co-hosting. We appreciate it. Thank you for watching and
Thank
have
you.
a great day.